Hey guys, as promised, here is part 2 of my HeroesCon haul. This is where I get some of the older stuff and show the sign books and prints and some different things that I got. Anyway, we're going to start off with some stuff that's not so old, but got Astro City Special. Now I want to comment on this book. This book is without a doubt one of the best superhero comic book stories I have read in years. If you can find this book cheap, I highly recommend that you pick it up. This is not your typical story. I mean, it's got the bad guy, it's got the good guy, but it's not what you think. And the title of the story is The Eagle and the Mountain. And that has a great deal of significance in the story, because it's based around the old story of the eagle that goes every year to sharpen his beak on the mountain, and he tells the mountain that, you know, that eventually he'll wear the mountain down level with the ground, and everyone will forget that the mountain was even there. And the mountain, of course, says, you know, that I'll still be here when you're dead and gone, and everyone's forgotten you. So anyway, pick it up if you can find it. Completed this little mini series, Astro City Local Heroes, number 5. I like all things Astro City. I didn't discover this book until a couple of years ago, but I'm telling you, this stuff is premium. Out of the newer stuff, this is the best stuff out there, if you can find it. If you haven't read so much of the newer series, but I know that these older issues are really, really good. Got Astro City Special, Silver Agent, number 1 and number 2. This is another one, if you can find this one cheap. This story is, again, this stuff isn't your average superhero stuff. It is, but it isn't. And for those of you who are reading it, you know what I'm talking about. Those who haven't been introduced to this, I recommend, if you find this stuff in cheap boxes, pick it up. You will not be disappointed. Got Astro City Special, characters called Beauty. And some of the newer Astro City series, got Astro City number 7. And number 8. Number 11. And all these came out of 50-cent boxes, by the way. Got number 40. Number 41. Yes, it has 100th issue on it, but it's true, but it's because of the other series, BCX keeping up with exactly how many issues of this have been put out. Got number 42. I want to make a little comment on this one. This, again, and I know I sound like a broken record, this was a refreshing story. The guy you see sitting in the palm tree, or the tree on the cover of this book, is a supervillain who ends up getting stranded on a desert island for years. While he's there, he's formulated this master plan as to how he is going to defeat his arch enemy when he gets the chance. And he's got this plan down to the smallest detail. The only problem is because he's a technology-based supervillain, you don't really find a whole lot of ways to create new technology on a desert island. But he does succeed in creating what he needs. Then the story gets interesting. So if you can find this one, pick it up. It's really cool. Astro City Dark Age, Book 1, Number 1. Number 2, Book 1, Number 2. Book 1, Number 3. And Book 1, Number 4. And in order to understand this issue, you need to have read, well, actually, read, if you can find the Dark Age first, read it first, then read the Silver Agent special. Then it kind of helps you figure out exactly what's going on. Got Dark Age, Book 2, Number 2. I've got Number 1 stashed in a box somewhere, so I'm going to pull it out and read it. You know me, technical difficulties abound. Dark Age Number 3. Oh, what's going on here? There we go. And Dark Age Book 2, Number 4. Also picked up one issue of Book 3, Number 2. Oh. Also picked up Number 4. This one I picked up. It's a book called Who is Jake Ellis by Image. And as you can see, right under Jake Ellis, it's signed by the guy who wrote it, Nathan Edmondson. Picked it up in a 50-cent bin. Also picked up Marvel Team Up, Number 10. I'm a sucker for a Kang story. He's one of my favorite Marvel villains. Simply because his history is so convoluted that it's unreal. But anyway, great story. Also got Sergeant Fury, Number 37. Submariner, Number 44. Avengers, Number 141. Couldn't find very many Avengers this year that weren't priced really, really high. But did pick that one up to fill in one little slot. That's Cerebus, World Tour Book 1995. Love that cover. Anybody who's ever flown knows exactly what Cerebus is thinking right about this moment. And plus it's got some cool stories in it. Didn't realize I had this book when I was a kid till I opened it up, because the copy I had was coverless. But this is Hulk Number 200. Got Phantom Stranger, Number 19. Great Jim Aparo art, just unreal. This guy, how he could draw. Got Peter Parker, Spectacular Spider-Man, Number 20. Had this one as a kid and don't know what happened to it. Found this in a 50-cent bin. X-Men, Number 5. I think, and don't quote me, that this is the first appearance of Omega Red. So that's mainly why I picked it up 50 cents. Got Mighty Thor, 203. This one fills in a spot that I've been trying to fill in. Got DC Comics Presents, Number 61. Somebody, it might have been either Howler Mouse or I'm thinking it might have been Howler Mouse. If you haven't checked out his channel, check his channel out too. He puts up some really cool comic videos. Anyway, he had recommended this because it has something to do with Commandy. And I love Commandy. Got every issue there is, so picked it up. Here's one of the older books that I found in a dollar bin. This is Yanks in Battle, Number 4. This is after Quality Comics, which put out, as you know, Shazam and Captain Marvel and the Marvel family, and anyway, some of the other, Black Hawk was a Quality comic. Anyway, this one is after they got sued and had to give up doing superhero comics. This one came out in December of 1956. I mean, it's not in immaculate shape, but heck, for $1, I mean, what are you going to do? So I picked it up. Plus got some great art in it. Ventures into the Unknown, Number 150. ACG comics are my guilty pleasure. The stories are, to be quite honest, laughably stupid, but I don't know. There's just something about these books that I just love. They're so typical 1960s science fiction, fantasy comics that it's unreal. Plus the artists that they use are Kurt Schaffenberger, Ogden Whitney. They got some great art in them. Picked up a copy of this book last year, not this particular issue, but Cookie, number 30. This is as you can guess, this is ACG's answer to Archie. This one came out in I think 1950 or 51. Got it for $1. Yeah, for $1, why not? Found this one in a 50-cent bin. Action Comics, number 600. Picked it up just because I, like anniversary issues, and plus it's, it's Superman. That's Superboy, number 181. Picked this one up simply because I've always wanted to read this story because I wanted to know who was in the frickin' box. Got it, I don't know, I think I paid $1, 50 cents or $1 for it too. Superboy, Legion of Superheroes, number 233. I'm trying to fill in a run of this, and this is one of the ones I needed. Also got 239. This is just simply an upgrade for me. The one I've got looks like it's been run over by a lawnmower. I think it's the original one I bought when I was a kid, but anyway, so picked it up so I can upgrade. Now, number 242. Found this one in a 50-cent bin, kind of shocked me. Adventure Comics, number 347, from the mid-60s, with, as you can see, Legion of Superheroes. Got Unknown Worlds from ACG, number 10. Again, ACG's my guilty pleasure, can't help it. Alright, got some newer books. These were a quarter, and I've heard this story is horrid. I haven't read it yet, but anyway, so we'll see. For a quarter, I haven't really, lost much. Civil War II, number 1. Number 6. And number 8. Back to the ACG. Got Forbidden Worlds, number 57. Found that in a 50-cent bin. That's from the late 50s. Got Forbidden Worlds, 138. There was a bunch of these in there that some of which I had, some of which I didn't. I think these were $1, but the reason I got this one is because it's Operation Vietnam. I just thought it'd be pretty cool to read that. Countdown, 47, 46, 45, and 42. Just trying to complete that set, and this just about does it for me. Alright, found this in a 50-cent bin, which you can kind of tell why when you see it. But Action Comics number 272 from I think 1957 or 58. It's got a rip down in the bottom left-hand corner and got a chunk out on just up above the DC symbol, but for the most part, it's not in all that bad a shape. I mean, yeah, it looks rough, but again, 50 cents $1, who cares? Another 50-cent book, Conan, number 12. They had a ton of these in there, some of the older issues, but I picked this one up just, why not? I've always wanted to read this story. The book's not in the best of shape, but I've always just wanted to read it. I've heard a lot about it. Charlton Premiere, number 2, primarily for the Children of Doom story. This has been touted in several comic magazines that I've read, put out by Tomorrow's, as being a really good story. I think Denny O'Neil wrote this thing, and either Jim Aparo or heck, can't think of the other guy's name, but anyway, he drew it. Whoever the guy was that drew it, Pat Broderick, I think, drew it. Got Superman Batman number 16. Again, as you see, Commandy's in the background. Had to get it. Nightwing, Alfred's Return, special from 1995. These were my finds of the day. These are always super expensive when you find them, but I got these for like $2 a piece. Got Thunder Agents, number 9, from Tower Comics, late 60s. Wally Wood art, just great books. Also got number 13, number 18, and number 19. Alright, got Avengers Invaders, number 4. I read the first 2 or 3 issues of this, and it was really good, so found these for 50 cents, so picked them up. Got number 5, number 7, number 8, number 10, and the best cover I've seen out of all of them so far, number 11. Great villains cover. Picked these 2 up because I like, again, Cerebus Bi-Weekly from December 2nd, 1988, which reprints number 1. Also picked up Cerebus Bi-Weekly December 16th, which reprints number 2. Now, that's it for the comics, and I know I said this is going to be about 5 minutes. Well, I lied. Well, let's see. Go ahead and show this first. An older guy there named Alan Bellman who drew Captain America back in the 40s and 50s. So I bought a print and got him to sign it. One of my favorite Batman artists that never does shows was there, Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. And since I got him to sign Batman Returns, and got him to sign it on the inside cover. Also got him to sign my copy of Batman Blue-Gray and the Bat. Batman in the 70s. As you can see, this one's been signed by Garcia Lopez, Dick Giordano, Joe Staton, Mike Golden, and the late great Bernie Wrightson. Also, Joe Giella was there, which is one of the very few that was left that I hadn't got to sign this book. As you can see, it's multi-signed. This one's going on the shelf because there is nobody else to sign these. They're all gone. Greatest Batman stories ever told. I got several people to sign this one. Neil Adams, Joe Giella, and Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. There's a couple other signatures in there too that have signed it in the past. And got them to sign this one. Move all this other stuff out of the way. Tales of the Dark Knight. This one's going on the shelf too. I've gotten probably about, I don't know, 10, 15 guys to sign this one, most of which have passed away. This is my pride and joy. But this one's going on the shelf because, again, there is nobody left to sign it except for Denny O'Neil. If Denny O'Neil ever comes to HeroesCon, I'll take it down to get him to sign it. But otherwise, it's going on the shelf. Anyway, that concludes it, guys. Thanks for sticking around, watching. Don't know when my next video will be, but if my local comic shop has a sale, you know, I'll probably go pick a few things up and make another video. Like, comment, subscribe.